just hand it off to one another.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, David. I'm Tyler.
I'm Carson.
And this is our podcast, episode 1 for chapters 4 and 5. I'll get it started here. So question 1 is, Hispanics are one of the fastest growing market segments in the United States, yet it would be a mistake for marketers to generalize that all Hispanics are the same. It says, discuss how there may be multiple subsets of Hispanics and the market implications of this fact. First of all, I'd say this is a mistake because there are multiple subsets. Like, you can go general, like the people that are from Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, all the, like, that whole area down there. They're all gonna have like different values and different like cultural things that are important to them based on where they're from. And like, yes, there might be similarities, but some other things might mean more to other cultures and to the ones that, like, instead of just comparing them into one. I think one of the biggest marketing implications in this area would be stereotyping, and you don't want to be seen as the racist ones. Like, you're probably not going to get good business if that's the case. And like, you could also use, like, if you know the subsets, you can use it to your advantage by tailoring your advertisements to things that would apply to certain cultures and make them more like wanting to buy your products.
Take it away, Carson. All right. I did question 2, and this one says the chapter discusses a variety of research methodologies to examine consumers' behaviors. Basically, I just did quantitative and qualitative. Qualitative research includes focus groups and interviews. An advantage is that it provides insight into consumer motivations and emotions. I'd say a disadvantage of this would be that results are not like statistically, like you can't, just because of the small sample size, you don't really know, everyone. But and then quantitative, this includes surveys and experiments. An advantage I'd say is that it offers measurable and statistically reliable data, unlike the qualitative. And then a disadvantage is that it may overlook like emotional or the subconscious factors.
Awesome. And then I think, okay, here we go. The next question you gave us was consumers experience different forms of problem recognition, and you asked us to explain each type and like give an example. The first one would be out of stock, and this would be like, say you're going to make breakfast and you got no eggs. You gotta go to the store and get some eggs here.
Dagger.
Yep. The next one would be dissatisfaction. Like, say you buy something and it fails to meet your expectations, like you're probably not gonna buy it again.
Yeah. And
then the next one is new needs and wants. Like, say your life changes. Like, let's say you have a kid, you're gonna need stuff to help care for that baby, and like your needs are gonna change. And that, then getting into related product purchases, like when one product you buy triggers you to buy another. Like, say you go buy a toothbrush, you're gonna need some toothpaste.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes hand in hand there. And then market-induced recognition, like an ad creates a need. I think Apple's a good example for this. Like, even though we both have iPhones, the new ads come out for the new iPhone, and kind of leaves you question, like, oh, maybe I do need to upgrade. Maybe I am gonna buy a new iPhone here.
Don't fall for it, Disch.
Mine's about to break, so we'll see. And then the last one, like new products, innovation sparks like desire is the best way to put it. It's like basically any new product that comes out, people are gonna have questions, and we'll get into this more later. But like the new Walla water bottles, they're a new product, kind of went viral.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. And new product.
All right. Well, I did question number 3 or 4, and this one says that there's been controversy over the existence of subliminal advertising for quite some time. I think I recall us talking about this in class today.
Yes, we did.
Explain why. Why do you think this topic continues to hold so much interest? I just said, like, subliminal advertising is messages that are designed to influence like the consumer at this, again, the subconscious level. The controversy comes from both ethical and scientific concerns. And the ethical standpoint is that people argue that these messages pass up like rational decision making, and it manipulates the consumer into buying without really their awareness or like they're okay, I guess. And this kind of can raise questions about fairness, like ethical issues in the marketing practice. And I'd said this still holds interest because like media and pop culture, like films often can really emphasize subliminal influence, therefore keeping that whole concept alive within the public.
Yeah, I feel like the interest stays there because like some of them are fun and like cool, and like there's like no message behind them. But like the Tostitos thing we talked about today, like it's two people holding a chip dipping in salsa. Like there's good ones, and then there's always some bad ones that raise the ethical issues. All right, getting into chapter 5 here, and it says, this chapter discusses the problem marketers encounter when developing advertising messages in different languages for different cultures, and discuss 3 ways marketers can deal with this problem and avoid mistranslations. The first one we talked about was the back translation method, which is you have something, you translate it, and then you retranslate it back to the original to the original language to like make sure it still means the same thing. Pretty simple there. And like you can use local experts, like if you know someone that speaks the language. Like my girlfriend speaks Serbian, her dad's from Serbia, so like if they're talking Serbian, like I can get directly from her what they mean, even though like I might know some words, but I don't know like all of it.
Yeah.
And then the next one is standardization with adaptation, is like keeping the core message the same, but you can change visuals and to help fit like that new translation, culture, language, etc. And I think a good example of this is actually, we talked about this in my intro to professional writing class. Certain languages read like different directions, like we read left to right.
Oh yeah.
And then like in Arabic, they read and write from right to left. So we had this hand washing visual, like the steps to wash your hand, they're here in the wall, everywhere. And so like in English, it's how we would read, but they actually altered it.
Doesn't China and Japan, or one of the two,
read from one of
right
them.
to left?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but like they changed it. So like the first step is on the right side, and then yada yada yada. Just changed it.
You gotta make it, I guess, the best of both worlds. You gotta try to at least.
Yeah, just kind of create it so it means the same thing in multiple cultures.
Yeah, so I did number 2, chapter 5, which asks what is meant by encoding. It says to discuss how encoding differs for radio versus television commercials as well as for print. I basically said encoding is the process of turning a marketing message into symbols or like visuals that the audience can understand. Radio, obviously you can't watch. It only uses voice, music, and effects. Therefore, the encoding must be like memorable. And then television, obviously you can see that. This combines audio and visuals. Encoding is more complex there, and really you gotta engage your audience with that. And then print was more relies on like layout and I guess like imagery and like photos. Readers can control the pace, and I guess visual appeal is kind of the biggest one for that one.
Fire. And getting into the last question, we kind of talked about I guess you have one more actually.
Yeah.
But this is about the concept of viral marketing, and to define that, it's basically just like encouraging consumers to share the brand content kind of by themselves, like kind of not forcing them to, but like we'll see it with a lot of products. Like the successful example here, it kind of went viral. We talked about it in class. I kind of just took the water bottle market by storm. Guess I fell into it, but it works. Drink a lot of water out of it, so can't complain. So I feel like this is just a great example to use for that, and like kind of just defines it through a product. A problematic example is I remember like Volkswagen had an April Fool's Day thing come out. They changed their name in reference to like their electric vehicles. They were going to start making to Volkswagen.
Ooh.
And then like kind of just create a bunch of problems with their brand and raise a lot of unnecessary questions. Especially like they had the whole Dieselgate problems a while back.
Yeah, I think I did a project on that last year.
So like
big thing.
Yeah. So like with the problems they've already had, like it kind of just didn't help the brand at all.
Yeah.
Take it away, Cole.
All right. Last question here. This one says to discuss how social consumer decision journey might differ for a marketer of a high involvement product, such as a tablet, computer, versus a company marketing a low involvement product such as a soft drink or paper towels. What are the implications? I just said consumers will research more extensively and seek reviews for like a high involvement product, and then obviously compare their options just because that's obviously going to run you some more money. An implication would be that marketers must provide detailed content, and then build trust and obviously try to engage with you on like multiple platforms. For a low involvement product, decisions are quick. Like you kind of make those every day. With stuff that's I guess cheaper, you're not going to really do as much research.
As much care goes into it.
That sort of thing. And then an implication would be focus on like brand recall or like emotional appeal and convenience. And yeah, I think that's all we got.
Thank you, David. Episode 1.
Thank you, David.
Looking forward to episodes to come.
Yeah.